Next we have a game I really should have spread across 2 episodes, State of Emergency. I've owned this game on PS2 and the sealed Xbox copy for about 7 years, but I'm only just trying it out now. I would see this game cheap in shops, look at the box and assume we had another Grand Theft Auto 3 wannabe, but this game was quite a bit different than I expected. The game's backstory starts in the year 2023, after an economic crisis. The American Trade Organization, or just the corporation, manages to form their own military and overthrows the US government. 12 years after establishing their police state, in 2035 a resistance group called Freedom appears to bring down the corporation, inciting a nationwide riot, causing the corporation to declare a state of emergency and sending out said military to end it. Well, we have 2 game choices, Chaos or Revolution. I try out Chaos first since it's the top option. There are 5 characters in the game, but we only start with 2. First we have Roy McNeil, or Mac. He's a former police officer fired for refusing to gun down rioters. Because of the respect he held in the police force, they also protested, leading to them being replaced with the corporation's own security firm. While protesting, the ex-police find evidence of corporation-funded organised crime targeting non-corporation owned businesses. Many of these officers were assassinated and Roy went into hiding, joining Freedom. Right away I have only one choice for a stage, the Capital City Mall. I have 3 more options at the beginning, Chaos, a 3-minute mode and 5-minute mode. Right now I'm going with Chaos. I start with 3 minutes to begin with for causing as much mayhem as possible for more points. There are weapons to pick up such as the bins and nightsticks from defeated security. I get points for taking out gangsters and police and destroying shop windows and the like, but I lose points for killing civilians. Every now and then there will be limited bonus times, such as here where I'll get bonus points for smashing 5 windows. I can also grab enemies to pummel them, and near this I get a hatchet as a weapon. Not long after I also get a pepper spray, which isn't that useful. As you can see, the gameplay is very simple, but it's fast paced enough and there are enough enemies to mow down that it's quite fun. Especially when I get a weapon. I mean, this game came out in 2002, so having so many NPCs on screen is impressive. Other weapons I get on this run include a shotgun which can blow heads off, there's the M16 which just tears through groups of NPCs, very easy to end up catching civilians though. There's a sword, just lying there on the floor in a shopping centre. The ideal weapon for smashing windows with apparently. It gets me a 2x point multiplier when killing enemies. We have the grenade launcher which only has 5 rounds. With these you can fire into the windows or doorways of buildings to blow them up inside for more bonus points. While all this is going on, you can see I'm knocking clocks out of my enemies to add more time back. Gotta also love the announcer.
Kill corporation forces for bonus score!
He's just thrilled to be telling me this. A bit later I get a flamethrower, which is a godsend when you're surrounded and getting your health chipped away. I hang around in this corner on the 2nd floor for a while until I get a shot to my last bit of health. I run downstairs and desperately look for some more health until I accidentally set myself alight with a Molotov cocktail and finish myself off with 860,000 points.
You've been killed!
Top score by the way. I decide to give it another go, let's see how well I do with a better idea of how the game works. I still can't not set myself on fire though. I don't last long though and my killer is Jim Sterling. In this dark future the corporation even swayed him to their side. Why, Jim? Well, for just getting 25,000 points in the mall, I've unlocked Chinatown. Right away I pick up a taser which, surprise, can't break windows. Well, with a punch button it can. This stage is larger than the mall, but I won't be talking too much about the level layouts right now, that's for later. Also, I get a penalty for killing a civilian from just smashing a window. What the hell? But unless I get penalties for civilians killed by police, because it happens again a little later. After smashing some more windows with a dustbin, I get the rocket launcher. I love this thing. Only 5 shots, but the range is amazing. It takes out any vehicle or building right away for loads of points. I even get a second one on that same street. There is also the pistol, but I find it pretty crappy and prefer just using my fists over it. It doesn't help that right after using it I get ganged up and beaten to death with 480,000 points. Next I choose Libra, real name Anna Price. She's a former criminal attorney who turned on the corporation after she was blackmailed into falsifying evidence against political prisoners. When she threatened to expose the corporation, her husband and daughter were killed by a car bomb. She's also believed to have been killed in the explosion and is out for revenge. But how does she play differently from Mac? Not much. I don't even know if the playable characters have any differences other than the animations because I never had to switch up how I played when I changed the character until about the end. In terms of new weapons this time, I pick up a bench, and soon after a cleaver. That gets me double points on kills. Soon after there's a minigun with 120 ammo. No bonus points, but look at the carnage I cause, I don't need a bonus. Trying to avoid civilians as collateral damage is impossible though. There's the AK-47, it's another machine gun, don't know what else to say. There's also an Uzi, it's not as good but it's better than the pistol. By the way, I love how she holds a shotgun and runs with it like it's a pistol. But it all comes crashing down when I attack a group of corporation soldiers only for there to be more than I thought, getting beaten to my last bit of health. I run around as they chase me looking for something to fight back with, pick up a sword but get finished off with 378,000 points, less than last time. But I was so close to that top score the first time I give it another go. I do better this time and crack that 500,000 point milestone. While I'm at it, I'd like to point out that this game has an enjoyable soundtrack. I just didn't realise until getting the music for this video because it's so quiet in game you won't hear most of it. Now that's quite a while this time and I'm finally taken down at 831,000 points. Now that amount of points isn't necessary, I only needed 50,000 to unlock the side stage. This is probably the simplest stage in the game, basically just 3 straight streets and a couple of little bits. Once again, more detail later. It's in here I finally get a baseball bat. It's not as satisfying as the other melee weapons, but it's longer than the rest of them except for maybe the sword. That's about it, and I meet my end getting shot with 720,000 points. 3rd place on the scoreboard. I swap back to Mac for my next try. This was painful, running around holding the shop sign with no enemy to beat with it. I mentioned Libra holding the shotgun like a pistol, but what about Mac holding the minigun like a nightstick? I do fine until I'm killed by a building blowing up in my face at 880,000 points. Not the top score, so I keep trying. Next I'll make it to 560,000 points. But my next try I crossed that 1 million points and beat the highest score. When you're playing you don't actually realise how long one session in Chaos Mode can last. This one took around 20 minutes. I don't last much longer after this though, but I got what I was after. I wasn't counting the high scores towards 100% in the game, I just really wanted to beat them because I was having fun. I only actually needed 100,000 to unlock the final level, Corporation Central. This is maybe the biggest level of the game, having a few areas all separated by these subway sections. I do quite well for a first attempt and end up with 851,000 points, but then I see that high score of 1.5 million. My next try starts strong, getting over 150,000 in the first minute thanks to a 5x window bonus and a machine gun. And that momentum keeps up for the entire game until I get to 1,370,000 and I get juggled by 2 rockets and utterly destroyed. That was gutting. Then next time I just barely get 2/3 of the way there. My 4th try was wank, I just get 230,000 points. But on my 5th try I get it. That was only 5 tries, but it resulted in over an hour of footage. So that's Chaos Mode, which is quite fun, but it can't be the only thing to justify buying the game, especially for full price in 2002. And I think these 2.5 hours on Chaos have been good enough practice for the main game, Revolution Mode. Here, rather than aimless rioting, we're involved in organised missions to weaken the corporation. Once again we start with just Capital City Mall. Right when I start, there's this guy I can talk to for a mission. He says that someone has tipped the corporation off on us and sent a couple guys to spy on us. My first mission is to follow the marker to kill these 2. A simple enough start to this mode in case you pick Revolution first. Once they're dead I'm told to meet my contact in front of Max's bar. He says they're going to take out the security control room by smuggling in detonators disguised as mobile phones. They're in the window of the shop Big Dollar. However, there are also mall rats trying to kill me on the way. Once they're dealt with, I smash open one of the windows to get the box of detonators and carry them over to our demolitions expert at Auto Shack. I get attacked by more mall rats and accidentally destroy the detonators, requiring me to do the mission again. And guess what? It happens a second time, and the third. Turns out putting the box on the floor destroys it, using it to smash a few guys' heads in doesn't affect it in any way. The expert comes out and I hand them over. He then tells me to go see Victor at Max's, and after I take care of some security, I do. He says phase 1 is complete and next tells me to meet up with their saboteur and escort him to the security control room while everyone's on their lunch break. He's at the Auto Shack and we set off. He doesn't help me while I get my head kicked in though, but at least I seem to be ignoring him. He walks into the control room, more officers show up for me to beat, and the saboteur emerges, telling me to run too as the room explodes. Now I just have to escort him back to Auto Shack. Back to Victor, who wants me to take out the escaping officers and claim the vital documents they're taking with them. I catch up to them just before they get to the back door and start whacking them. I take out the guy with the documents and take them back to Victor. The corporation wants their plans back while our hacker wants to upload them to the underground. He gives me the plans on floppy disk and I take it to the hacker at the bookshop. While he uploads them, I have to protect the shop from the corporation. Sadly, while I'm distracted, one of them casually walks in and I fail. Same thing happens next time. Even though they're not in the shop yet, once they've entered that animation, they're a pain to stop. The 3rd time I stop one just as he begins walking in, only for one I was fighting previously to take that chance. 4th time I'm successful and the hacker comes out to thank me and gives me the crappy pistol as a so-called reward. It gets shot out of my hand soon after and I don't care to pick it up. Now Victor says we need a security pass to bug the corporation phone exchange. There's a phone executive coming in the back entrance so I run after him but keep getting mall cops over my ass. He tricks me into going down the escalator and wasting enough time for him to escape. The 2nd time he sees me, turns right around and ends up in invincible doorway state, getting away again. And then the exact same thing happens the 3rd time. Next time though I catch him and show no mercy. I then deliver the pass back to Max's. We now the phone freak waiting for me at the shop Candy Girl. I have to get him to the phone exchange so he can plant the bugs. Candy Girl is upstairs near the back door. I meet the phone freak and we run right for the phone exchange, which is back downstairs and not far from Max's. Security gave him a bit of a beating but he gets inside, but now I have to protect another shop. Luckily I have an Uzi. Unluckily one went in while the entrance was off screen and killed the phone freak. I get it done right on my 2nd attempt. I take the freak back to Candy Girl but security ignores me on the way back and annihilates him in seconds. Gotta do it again. I mean, he did his job and bugged the place. Do we really need him to survive after that? Can't I just continue on? Once again they get inside the shop. 4th try I take a different, slightly longer route back to Candy Girl and deliver him back safely. Back with Victor, and it turns out that the phone tapping exposed a mole in Freedom. He's about to hand over a list of Freedom operatives over to a corporation exec, so Victor hands me a shotgun to take him out with and retrieve that list. However, I didn't pay full attention and I kill him before he hands over the list instead of after, like he asked. So next time I actually stand and wait while he hands over the list and confirms he's a mole. Then I run in and take both of them out, reclaim the list and give it to Victor. My next mission has me sent to get an ID card from one of the corporation's doctors so they can hack into the medical system, as they've been tampering with some free inoculations that they've been giving out. For this he gives me a pipe. All I do is go up a nearby escalator, take out the passing doctor and give Victor his ID card. Turns out that there's a nanotech chip in each syringe. They set up a free clinic near the shop joypad and I'm given an Uzi to kill the doctors with. After the arrow isn't helpful for a bit, I eventually find the doctors and gun them all down. I then pick up the medical crate and hand it over to Victor. After their tech guys analyse the chips, one of them thinks he's found something interesting, so I meet up with him around the corner and he tells me the chips are meant for turning the victim into mindless mad bombers that will then be used to discredit the resistance. One comes running around the corner and I shoot him to blow him up before he can get to us. However, Noah sneaks up from behind and kills the technician. Twice. I save him the third time and escort him back to Candy Girl so he can publish this information. There is one more bad bomber on the way, but I actually reacted quick enough and avoided having to repeat the mission again. There's still bombers on the way back to Victor to finish the mission though. Next up, the shop Magruder's is where a lot of the security forces hang out, and we want to take them out. So I have to steal a barrel from the window of Scooter's bar and take it to a demolitions expert. Scooter's isn't far away and I get the barrel, then it's just down the escalator and back to Auto Shack to hand it over so he can get to work modifying it. I end the mission with Victor and talk to him again. The bomb's ready so I pick it up from Auto Shack and haul it over to Magruder's near Max's. I leave the barrel at the door, run off and wait for the explosion. But it doesn't happen and Reggie, the demolitions expert, goes in to fix the detonator. He doesn't even move while I take down security and he still somehow fixes it. Magruder's explodes and I report back to Victor. One of our bases has been raided and an agent just barely made it to us alive, but he needs medical attention. But the corporation has also raided our supplies, so I have to run over to Westco Drugs and steal some from the windows. Westco is just around the corner next to the escalators and I smash the window, pick up the crate and ignore the bullets riddling my body as I sprint back to Victor and save the agent. But he has more bad news. The corporation isn't happy about us bombing their hangout spot, so they're going to publicly execute one of Freedom's agents. He gives me an Uzi and sends me to save him. I hang back and try taking out the firing squad from a distance, but one guy attacks me from behind and wastes time, so I end up scrambling to take on the firing squad with my fists. One guy breaks away while I'm doing this and beats the agent to death. The second attempt was pathetic. Third time I save him and have to return him to the safe house at Candy Girl. Easy done. Next step is winning over Mad Willie, owner of the gun shop. He's afraid of the corporation coming after him if he helps us, so I have to represent Freedom in negotiations with him. He'll help us if we reclaim a priceless antique katana from the Hmong dynasty that the mall rats have taken from him. The mall rats are outside Scooter's bar and after the pistol proves unhelpful, I switch to my limbs and then upgrade to a hatchet. Then I just pick up the katana and take it back. As thanks, he's one of us. And back to Victor. The walk back was less than 10 seconds and yet the corporation not only already knows about our deal with Willie, but have also sent in their forces to take over his shop. I run up to his shop where he's left an AK-47 lying on the floor for me. Now it's just a case of not letting anyone inside. I run out of bullets in the third wave, but I still manage to protect him. For my next mission, the corporation has one of our operatives held in the movie theatre. I take out the guards in front of the theatre and... where's the agent? Oh. I didn't know who he was before, but he got here in one piece, so it's alright. He sets off a gas grenade and leaves me a shotgun to mow down the escaping forces. Oh no, because the gas makes me drop it, so now I'm chasing them down. However, one gets out the back door and I have to try again. The second time I beat them down with a sign, get the shotgun and hang back a bit. They don't last long this time. A couple more come out but get caught in the gas and I kill them too. Now it's just dropping 2 agents off at Candy Girl. It gets too close. Since neither of them will defend themselves even when I'm outnumbered, the agent who set off the gas ends up with an empty life bar. But I get them there. Yet only the one we saved goes in. No health guy needs taken to Blossoms. Thankfully it's just down the escalator and there aren't many attackers. He says he also has some jobs for us and I get back to Victor. We'll stick with Victor's missions for now though. Our bug at the phone exchange has picked up the news that a squad of shock troops are about to attack the Candy Girl base. He tells me to stop anyone getting in but doesn't give me any weapons for this one. It's okay though because when I got there Mad Willie had sent over an Uzi. First wave comes and I gun them down, get another Uzi from the second lot, then have a mad bomber ignore my punches and run right into Candy Girl, destroying the base. The second time, one runs right past me while I'm fighting the second wave. Third time I deal with him, but one trooper runs past and I end up punching him inside the shop. Next time I deal with the bomber, but another one turns up and gets in anyway. This brings me to an aspect of the game I really like. Although this game isn't as similar to Grand Theft Auto 3 as I was expecting, it's definitely superior to it in one aspect, and that's the speed of it. In GTA, when failing the mission, you'd usually have a long journey back to the mission start, a load screen, a cutscene to skip, another load screen, and the journey back to the mission destination. Here everything's really quick, the maps aren't as big so it doesn't take as long to return to the mission giver and it's just quick text boxes for each step. I'd say failing and repeating the same mission 5 times in State of Emergency is around 5 times quicker than doing the same in most Grand Theft Autos. This isn't a judgment on which game is better, just one big aspect I preferred in this game. Anyway, on my 4th attempt I take out the second bomber and have protected the safe house. I still have to deal with bombers on my way back to confirm the successful mission with Victor though. And now we have Corporation cleanup squads coming to take back the mall. All I have to do is take out every guy with a red marker above his head. This is easier than previous missions since it's just a straightforward brawl, no need to protect anyone. Next, Victor tells me that the head of Corporation Security is visiting the mall. The important part is his secretary carrying a copy of his itinerary, which is my next target. I go upstairs where he's belting it towards me with a firing squad behind him. I punch him in the face and stamp his head in, ignoring all those irritating bullets until I get the itinerary and hand it over to Victor. With it, we know the head of security is going to arrive in the car park soon. I head over there and am immediately shot at. I have no weapons, so I punch a couple out until I get a nice stick and can take out more at once. I slowly make my way through the protection and find the executive hiding in the corner. I kill him and return to base, and with that, we're done with Victor for a while. He leaves Max's, so I finally go help out that guy at Blossoms. I have to meet our hacker, who's getting data from the corporation mainframe, at a payphone. When I get there I have to cover him from attackers. The camera screws me at one point and they kill him. I keep him safe next time and escort him back to Candy Girl. Wouldn't it be safer to find another safe house if the corporation already knows there's one at Candy Girl? I feel my point is proven when, as I'm nearly there, security shows up and he gets shot to death. I get him back on my 3rd try though. I pause to check how far along I am and I see I have 63% of them all done. Our hacker managed to get a list of corporation informants from the mainframe. He gives me the list and I have to take them out before they cause us any trouble. The first one is close by and while chasing him, I also end up with a pack of guards chasing me. After I take him out, the second informant just runs on by while I'm dealing with the guards. The third ends up being where I found the first, and the fourth I find in front of Big Willie's gun shop. The fifth one was very slippery and it was quite a chase before I took him down. After him I get a message letting me know that there's even more than that. The sixth informant once again leads me on a ridiculous chase. After him I still have another 4 to take down before the mission is accomplished. We now have more new information. The corporation is supplying weapons to gangs with the Protect gun shop. These gangs have also been secretly working for the corporation. I meet up with another agent around the back of the shop. He gives me some Molotov cocktails and I torch the place. Hang on, wasn't that Willie's shop? Next up we have knowledge of a security weapons cache in a storeroom. I just have to take over and hold it until another agent shows up. This storeroom is where I was given the Molotovs last mission. I take out all the security guards and gain access. Now I just have to keep this place defended from the 2 waves of security that come to take it back. After that a load of Freedom agents turn up to help deal with the next wave. I do accidentally kill most of them myself with the spread from my shotgun, but the 2 survivors don't mind that much. Now the mall rats are harassing the owner of the jewellers that we've been using to launder Freedom assets. I meet the jeweller and escort him to his shop, killing the mall rats on the way. Once he's in, I have to protect the shop from more of them. I've got to say, the shop protection missions are my least favourite because of how easy it is for just one in a group of enemies to slip in. I'm actually very lucky this time. In that big group, one barges right past me but stops at the door to try shooting me instead. This lets me beat this mission on the first try. With the jeweller being great for our help, I'm now going to intercept a corporation cash delivery to the bank and stash it at the jewellers. I do wish the corporation had an actual name so I'm not just repeating the corporation every time. Luckily I catch the executive with the cash just before he escapes and kill him. Then the jewellers is right next to me, so this was a very quick and easy mission. Now I must destroy another bar being used as a corporation surveillance spot, Big Mama's bar. I'm given a single grenade and I spend a minute or so battering security over the head with it, confused by the arrow until the camera turns to reveal I was standing in front of Big Mama's the whole time. So I blow up their listening post and head back to Blossoms. It's time now for a good old bank robbery. I pick up the guys from Candy Girl and we head to the bank. Sadly I'm not doing any robbing myself, I have to wait outside and deal with security and end up letting one in because I got surrounded. This time I get there with a cleaver. Doesn't help because one grabs me right away and 2 of them get inside. Third time and security's already waiting for us outside the bank. At least my agents put forth some kind of effort fighting back this time. Still gonna fight off security after they go in though, but this time I have Newsy so it's easy. Now I just have to get them back, which was a little scary because none of them had any health left and there were a couple guards on the way. But I still had some ammo so I got them to the jeweller's safe. That was the last mission at Blossoms, but now Victor is back outside Max's. Turns out the mall rats are running a kidnapping ring providing escorts for corporate officials. Well, this game got dark quick. I have to team up with a guy named Gibson to tear gas the place and kill the officials as they come out. Gibson's waiting for me at Auto Shack and I get him inside the shop the girls are being held. The gas goes off and I chase after those officials. Sadly one of them escapes, and the same thing happens next time. Next time I think to bring a gun and they don't get very far. Back at base, Victor says the girls are going to be safe. The mall rats now want to meet in the car park to negotiate with us. Victor says it's most likely a trap but sends me just to be sure. I head on over and sure enough there's 3 of them with baseball bats. I take them out and take one of their bats because more show up. I have an upgrade to a hatchet for the last couple. When I get back, Victor says they need dealing with. He says they were seen heading into Scooter's bar just after trying to ambush me, and now it's time to finish them off for good. I head on over and hatchet them all to death. There's 4 waves of them, but the hatchet is a very good weapon for groups of enemies. After I take them out, their leader emerges to challenge me. He gets taken out immediately. That's one of the gangs and the big corporation ally eliminated. With one threat taken care of, it's time to meet a heavy weapons dealer. The mission is so secret, Victor won't even tell me what the target is. I just have to hand over the money and bring back the weapon. I meet the dealer by the exit and he leaves me a crate. Thing is, security are now showing up with shotguns and I get killed trying to evade them. When you die, you get put back at 2 different restart options. And considering I died at 91%, I was shitting myself. Since you don't see any save icons or options, I was genuinely worried the game might expect me to do all 30 something missions in one go. If that was the case, I would have abandoned this game and tried something else. This time, instead of trying to clear out the enemy, I just run with the crate but it keeps getting shot out of my hands and I die again. 3rd time the crate gets destroyed, 4th time I get killed again, 5th time I get close but die with Victor just in my sight. 6th time the box is destroyed again and I die soon after. I finally managed to bring the crate back on my 7th attempt. The corporation are rallying the last of their reinforcements near the federal office. There's something waiting for me on the upper floor. It's a grenade launcher. Across from Max's there's 2 lines of troops. I get some with my first shot but not enough and they swarm me. The grenade launcher isn't good for up close combat and I lose it. I did leave an AK-47 where I got the grenade launcher and it helps me take out a few more. Then I take down the last few with one of their batons. One last mission. Now that we have them all, the corporation is sending over a major attack force to reclaim it. The other agents will cover me as I go around annihilating the remaining corporation-owned shops. I meet up with the others and pick up a Molotov. The first target is Rocket Burger. I end up setting myself on fire throwing it too close to the building. It also killed the guys with me. I go get another and blow it up properly. I head back for another where there's more agents waiting. Next is Close Paw Hom, the clothes shop using child labour. It's seconds away. Boom, done. Now it's Sister Shop, Close Paw Femme. It's right across from Paw Hom. Boom, done. Next is the bank. Destroyed. Now the antique shop which traffics in stolen property. Gone. Then we're finally dealing with Westco Drugs. Obliterated. Finally there's the government office. For this one I have a rocket launcher. Fucking dead. We've driven the corporation out of this sector and instigated the citywide riot. The state of emergency has been declared. We get footage of a news report on the liberation of the mall along with a big level liberated on the screen for a split second before it boosts me back to the menu. For completing the mall in Revolution I've unlocked Spanky, or Hector Soldado. He was once a gang member, but he now works with Freedom after the corporation allowed its death squads and gangs to overrun his home and reduce it to a war zone. Spanky was clearly the character they intended to hook a general audience with, considering he's the character in the box art of both games. This was back in the early 2000s when all kids wanted to pretend to be gangsters. So it's interesting that he isn't available from the start. I also believe that if this game were released later on in the year, after Grand Theft Auto Vice City was released, Roy would have probably been the mascot since he looks just like Tommy Vercetti, but with a red shirt. Well, time to liberate Chinatown. Right behind where we start there's a Freedom agent. He fills me in on the 2 local gangs, the Third Street Killers who are running an extortion racket and the Jade Hill Boys. The plan is to stop the killers to win the general public over to Freedom. They're about to attack Ms. Grant at the pawn shop for not paying them, so I'm going to go help her out. I pick up a baseball bat and take so long taking out gang members she gets killed before I get anywhere near her. Good start. Next time I just run straight for her. She gives me a pistol to fend off the killers with. I save her and talk to the agent nearby. I learn that the guy I got the first mission from is named Max. I have to steal a crate from one of the corporation's pharmaceutical shipments right behind Beer Hut. Apparently I missed the behind part because I then started smashing up Beer Hut's windows. The crate is in the alley behind it. Chinatown has more horizontal space than the mall, so it's quite a trek back. Once it's delivered I talk to him again. Freedom's chemists are checking out the crate, so I have to meet up with an informant behind the bank. I arrive behind the bank where there's a member of the killers who sets off a smoke bomb and gets me surrounded by police. Instead of just running, I die trying to fight them off. Rather than retrying that mission, I go back to Max since I load right in front of him. The killers have taken the owner of the fireworks shop and I have to get him back before they hand him over to their boss. The arrow confuses me for a bit and I get to him just as he's being put into the record shop and I fail. Well, there's another guy with the blue icon handing out missions. Sergeant Buckland of the corporation's Enforcer Corps has been caught embezzling. If we protect him, he'll show us a way around their HQ security. I head over to Homeworld a little down the street. First I have to follow him through the alley so he can show me a way into HQ, but they predicted Buckland would do that and are waiting for us. I just have to run and escort Buckland back to our safe house, which is near the spawn point for this level. With him saved, I find the 4th mission together with a green icon above his head. Freedom's leader is giving a speech at the temple and I have to keep him safe from the corporation. The leader is near where Max usually is. I also learn from the leader that the green icon man is named Trang. I keep the leader safe while he slowly inches towards the temple. Once he's inside, I thankfully don't have to keep anyone out. Since I'm by the antique shop again, I try the informant mission from Yellow Icon Man again. This time I don't try to fight off the ambush, I just run back to pass the mission. I then get another mission from Yellow Icon Man. The crate I got earlier contained a gene-altering drug. It was also addressed to a Dr. Hunter who was responsible for some chemical weapons atrocity the year before. My mission is to track down one of his lab assistants, see if I can get any good info. He's not far away and I give him a good whack, activating all the police I didn't notice were stood around him. He runs off, but while chasing him down I discover that while running, Spanky can perform a spin dash. He keeps trying to run, but I defeat him with a dustbin and take his research report. I then hand it over to finish the mission. The drug is made to modify physique and behaviour. Chinatown has their own Westco Drugs which is fronting the research facility. I just have to take out the guards there and wait. And what a better way to take out guards than to come bowling up to them holding a bench above my head. It works though. Next I've got to meet the contact behind the Chinatown Auto Shack. He gives me some Molotovs and I torch Westco. Next I head back to Trang. He lets me know that Freedom's leader's name is Marcus Washington. Remember how I was glad I didn't have to protect the temple entrance? Well, this is a little better. Marcus is standing out in the open giving his speech while I have to protect him. Yeah, this is easier than protecting the entrance because there isn't an insta-fail condition. You can actually take a couple hits. The police show up and start beating the civilians listening to the speech, but that just leaves them open for me to mow them down with the AK-47 left for me. And when I run out of ammo I can take their pistols. Then he goes inside and now I have to cover the entrance. And they barge their way in seconds. Fuck these missions. Well, Yellow Icon Man is gone for now, which means Trang is the nearest, so I'm having another go. This time I save the AK-47 for when I have to cover the entrance. It makes the mission trivial. In that time, Max escaped and I have to return to Trang. That's all the missions he has for now, so back to Max and I finally save that fireworks shop owner and deliver him to the safe house. The public are beginning to recognise Freedom now. I go back to Max for some bad news. The killers have taken over our safe house. I've got 3 dudes to back up and set off to kick them out. I say set off, we start right next to it. We baseball our way through, but I'm the only survivor. Tragically, the last killer guns down my last agent seconds before I deal with him. Well, that's how it looked. More emerged from the safe house and my last guy survived. He doesn't give a fuck about any shotgun blast to the chest. He even helps me take out the real last guy. Sadly, with the safe house free, I can't keep him around after heading back to Max. Max's missions are also done for now, leaving just Blue Icon Man. He's been chatting with Buckland, who revealed that there's a European banker in town to help the corporation expand outside the US. He's waiting in the car park for his transport to the airport. Instead he gets his security wiped out and his head caved in. Next he tells me my next target is the bank. I'll meet up with a team at the gun shop and they'll drill through the shop Gantt cable into the bank vault. I get my team, but I spend too long fighting every police officer on the way, which gets one killed, failing the mission. On my second go I shoot them all down, but one just drops dead off screen. Then I accidentally kill them all myself. But on my 4th try I get them all in there in one piece. Now I just have to go around the front of the shop and oh shit. The very first guy that shows up walks right on in and fails me the mission. 5th time I have a gun and they aren't getting in this time. The team leave the bank with an accounts disc and I just have to get them back to base, but I get caught on a bench and die on the way back. I respawn next to a purple icon man stood where Max used to be, so fuck it, the bank can wait. Remember Gibson, the demolitions expert from the mall? Well, he's just arrived in Chinatown and I have to escort him from the west gate to the safe house. Despite having a gun, he doesn't try to defend himself and gets beaten to death. Fine, I'll try the bank again. Well, attempt 7 and I finally get to the safe house and no bench is standing in my way while I'm at it. Seb 1 still dies and I have to reclaim the disc he was carrying. I get it and hand it over to Blue Icon Man. Now we need to cover our tracks, so we're blowing up the bank. I pick up the bomb in front of the fireworks shop and hold it high above my head for everyone to see. When the game tells me to put it down, I forget how to for a second and get my stupid ass killed. Let's try escorting Gibson again. I get into the safe house and just look at this. I've got a stick, you've got a gun. Use it, you stupid wanker. Or at least if I'm trying to keep you alive, maybe you can return the favour? You're at the door, don't just stand here. Gibson, I'm rapidly losing my respect for you. The fuck did I let you down? He let us down. He could at least have the good manners to die where I can see him. All these failed attempts leave me with less health too, by the way. Thanks for letting me die again, Gibson. You're a pal. Different route? No. Finally, now get your ass in there. That's 8 attempts, the most for any mission so far. Now Purple Icon Man wants me to get Gibson a security pass. He doesn't deserve one. There's a foreign delegate at the bank with a pass. Good thing I failed to board the bank then. Of course right now I can't do anything first try anymore, so he survives a shotgun shot and hides at the bank. Gibson can wait a bit longer because Yellow Icon Man is back in Trang's old spot. He's worried because one of the best agents, Mr. Church, hasn't returned from a meeting with an informant. He was last seen near Chinatown's Blossoms. It's just around the corner and I find him with almost no health left. He says it's a trap and to leave him. I turn around and there's like 15 troops with shotguns. I should have got their bullets long enough to get back and finish the mission. He doesn't ask about Church by the way, but when I talk to him again he says that 2 more agents have been killed. He suspects another agent named Bishop is a traitor and sends me out to find proof. I follow Bishop to the laundry where he's meeting a load of corporation execs. I beat them down but narrowly miss Bishop, who escapes into a shop. Second time I get a bit too ahead of myself and kill the contact before Bishop even gets there, preventing me from proving his betrayal. I then let out my frustrations. I leave Bishop to his own devices for now and try blowing up the bank again. This time I fuck up by throwing the bomb instead of dropping it, breaking it. Next time a heroic evil police officer swats it out of my hand and gets the job done better than I ever could. That's 30% of this level done. Right, let's try dealing with Bishop again. This time Bishop just slowly walks away and I kill him, but then I get killed by an uppercut to the back. What about Gibson's security pass? This time the delegate doesn't try to survive and I get that pass. Now I have to escort Gibson, again, to the hotel that the corporation are having a secret conference with their European partners in. Because that pass I went through the effort to get might not work, I have to create a diversion to get Gibson inside. Fine, come on Gibson, try not to let yourself die this time. Gibson, what did I say? Hang on, now you decided to fight back, with your bare fists against the known shotguns? You know, I'm glad Greg got blown off this time. That's 3 deaths in under 2 minutes, Gibson. Stop trying to pick fights and just get in there. Surely at this point it would be more productive if I just went in there myself, even with the 6 officers chasing me. Finally he's going in. No, don't walk out. Oh, you set the bomb that quickly? Alright. But no, Purple Icon Man, we do not make a good team. Let's get back to Bishop. Too early again. I stood there watching them for ages. I finally get him next time and I can put this ridiculous Bishop Gibson saga behind me. But thanks to Bishop, the corporation knows we have an operations room at the laundry. I've got to keep them out while Marcus goes to the temple for reinforcements. Not only do I have police and execs to deal with, but also members of the Jade Hill boys. While I'm doing this, Marcus has been captured. I take out everyone at the laundry but couldn't save Marcus from being taken to their headquarters. I do worse the next time. The time after that I'm killed. Next time I have a gun and I catch up with Marcus being chased off, but then he turns around and runs right into my bullets. I save him the 4th time though. At least Marcus can fight back competently. I drop him off at the safe house and go get my next mission. The corporation has raided the temple and cornered Marcus again. He gives me some tear gas and a grenade launcher to distract them with while Marcus and the others escape. Eventually Marcus does escape and I have to get him to safety. I drop him off at the safe house yet again. Yellow Icon Man is gone and Max is back but outside the temple now. He says that something is going down at the corporation HQ. There's a security agent outside coordinating activities. I have to steal his orders. Thing is, I get so bogged down by all the police trying to get me that he escapes before I get anywhere near him. I trap him in the corner and just look at this chaos. I somehow manage to kill him and all that and get the orders. I hand them over and in the next mission I learn that the corporation are about to unveil a new genetics program. One of Dr. Hunter's assistants is showing up in the car park under HQ. I just have to get his notes. Lucky for me I run right for him and his own security accidentally shoots him dead, leaving me to just get his notes and run. When I hand them over, Max says there's something up with the security guards. I assume he's not talking about the one that killed the guy they're protecting, but I was in and out so quick that I didn't get the chance to see any difference. The report reveals that the corporation is genetically modifying their shock troopers and are putting them into service. There's going to be a ceremony to introduce them outside their HQ. I have to kill the chief of this new division at the ceremony. I take an Uzi and get some backup. We run right over there where there's loads of troops. I use up my ammo and start making my way through the shotguns dropped by the ones I killed. The chief is killed, although I'm not sure which one the chief was. With that dealt with, Blue Icon Man is back. Aside from that one mission, we haven't had much to do with the Jade Hill boys, but now they've kidnapped one of our agents to ransom him to the corporation. I have to follow a group of them behind Beer Hut to find where our guy is being held. I tried for 2 seconds but one hit me so I killed them and failed the mission. Next time I do it properly. Yeah, just ignore the guy stalking you with a hatchet. They lead me to the car park where these execs shoot them dead and I get the blame. I didn't kill them. Next time I wait outside until they all get in. Then I find out the agent is being held in an alley behind the Red Brick Factory. I free the agent but he gets killed seconds later. Well, Yellow Icon Man is nearby and back in his old spot. They want to replicate the Enforcer's newest assault rifle. So I go up to the gun shop, kill a group of them and take a crate containing one. I then simply haul it back. I'm told the guns have been modified to fire larger bullets at faster rates. Thanks to a waitress at Rocket Burger, we know one Enforcer is going to pick up his after work. So I've got to follow him. He doesn't see the man chasing with a bench as suspicious, but then I don't know what I'm doing here, I just kill him before he leads me to the guns. Next time I actually pay attention and follow him to the building. Once he comes out I kill him and report back. Now we know who's modifying the guns, I have to shut down the supply. There's a shipment in the alley behind Auto Shack. Said alley has a flamethrower in it which should make this easy, but it gets used up on my attackers. Once they're all out of the way, I just pick up each of the crates and smash them against the walls. Once I report back, Yellow Icon Man leaves again. Time to try saving that agent from the Jade Hill boys again. I think I might have it this time, but I hear one gunshot off screen and he's dead again. Next time I once again get blamed for the execs killing the gang. For my 6th try, I run in after I get the prompt to find the agent to kill the execs so they can't chase me down and ruin everything again. This makes him last longer, but he still gets killed when we're halfway to the safe house. 7th attempt is unsuccessful too. This time I didn't hear a gunshot, he was just dead. But on my 8th try I finally pull it off and shove the agent back to the safe house. Max is back around the corner in his original position, so let's talk to him. One of our informants has important news. He's going to leave the HQ and I have to pretend to mug him, not kill him, for what he's carrying. I catch up to him and punch him, only to be told off because he hasn't entered HQ yet. Okay, I know you said when he leaves, but you never said anything about following him to HQ either. Since I'm right in front of Blue Icon Man, I go to him instead. The corporation doesn't know I saved the agent, yet there are 5 corporate agents trying to find out who did. All I have to do is walk around the alley killing the 5 agents. Easy. But backup was called with just 1 agent left. The last one isn't too far away, and I report back. Time to take on the Jade Hill boys. They think they're going to kidnap Marcus at Blossoms, instead I show up to kill them all. They aren't a problem at all, there's a few ways but they go down easy. Now for that informant, I actually let him enter the HQ this time. He leaves, I beat through his security and give him a single kick for those documents. Yeah, that's a convincing mugging. The documents reveal the corporation's secret service is sweeping the area looking for freedom sympathisers. We've evacuated everyone but Mr. Clark from the coffee shop. When I run over there, he's already being shot repeatedly in the face. I interrupt and Mr. Clark runs off. Once I deal with everyone in front of his shop, I get informed he got himself killed somewhere else. I catch up with him next time and get him to the safe house. While I was helping Clark, the corporation arrested a civilian and planned to publicly execute her for supporting us. I find them escorting her to the temple and fail to save her. It turns out a good strategy when unarmed against the group is to keep grabbing them. The rest kept stopping everything when just one of them got grabbed. It solved the issue of the woman gunman shooting her to death while I was busy with the others. With her free, I take her to the safe house at the laundry, I guess our normal one I filled up. Now the corporation is doing a sweep for our safe house. There's news left around the back for me to hold off the 3 death squads with. The first wave isn't too bad, but I use up my ammo. Then the guys with tear gas show up and distract me long enough to let one in. Second time, rather than use the Uzi, I get one of the enemy shotguns and take out the first wave with that. Then use the Uzi on the second wave, and that's it. I guess 2 of the squads must show up really close together. Max has left again and Purple Icon Man is in his spot. Now the corporation is so desperate they've outlawed public gatherings. The temple has been shut down and prisoners are held in the courtyard. One of those prisoners is one of our agents and I have to get him out. I charge right in there, use the grab strategy, and our guy takes way too long to realise he's free. I then drop him off at the laundry. One of the temple escapees has some useful information. I have to pick him up at Homeworld and bring him to the safe house. Said informant says the corporation's been testing a new psychoactive drug, but that's all he'll tell me until he's safe. I get into the safe house, but then he starts attacking me, leaving me with no choice but to kill him. I get an explanation soon after. Those nanotech chips we saw from the mall have a psychoactive control component and it looks like they got one into the informant. Now there are civilians going berserk outside the bank. As I get closer to the bank, I'm informed there's a subsonic transmission near me that is the cause of civilians going mental. I just have to find the transmitter and bring it back to base. Well, that doctor running by with an armed guard and the mission marker pointing right at him might be a clue. I kill him for a data disk and hand it over. 3 doctors working for Hunter have been seen going towards the temple square. They're involved with all this, so I attack them. I kill one, and as I'm chasing another, I get a message saying that they tracked the signal to the temple, so it needs to be destroyed. I meet Gomez at the pawn shop, who hands me a rocket launcher. My first shot gets blocked by 2 officers, but the second destroys the temple, much to Purple Icon Man's sadness. Max is back again and outside the temple. A hacker has discovered the possibility that the corporation has been putting illegal decoding devices to destroy all digital privacy. It's kinda cute that this 2002 game thought it would take until 2035 for our digital privacy to be under threat. I go over to the Game Shop joypad and smash a window to get one of those new PCs. Did I say smash a window? I meant use one of my remaining rockets to blow it the fuck up and pull a perfectly intact PC out of its fiery ruins. This better be worth it because I abandoned the rocket launcher with 2 shots left to carry this. I hand it over to Max and talk to him again. Turns out the hacker was right and the corporation is spying on everyone through their computers. My next aim is to get an access code to the mainframe that controls their bugging system. I head over to TJ Sports to find one of their top PC technicians, running around with about 15 guards. I throw a bench at him and then chase him down and kill him for another data disk. I hand it over to Max, which leads to the next mission. The hackers have figured out how to use the corporation's bug against them to crash their mainframe. I have to escort the hacker to multiple public payphones to use the bug. We get attacked at the first phone and by the time he's done, the hacker lost 3/4 of his health. I block most of the shotgun shots with my body while he works on the second phone, but he gets finished off with a final whack just as he reaches the third. Trang's back in Blue Icon Man's old spot and since I'm nearby I let Max wait on that whole hacker thing. The Killers and Jade Hill boys are about to join forces against Freedom. That would be dangerous, so first I go to Magruder's and kill a group of killers, then I go to the alley behind to get the attention of some Jade Hill boys. I lead them back to where I killed the killers and kill them too to make it like a fight broke out between the 2 gangs, hindering any forced joining. But we only delayed it a bit. The leader of the killers is meeting with Jade Hill at the record shop to discuss their truce. I have to kill the Jade Hill members before they arrive to make it look like a snub. I catch them outside the bank and take them all out, most likely angering the killers. Since I completed this mission so close to Max, it's time to try helping the hacker again. I gain to All-4 phone safe and sound and just narrowly help him escape back to Max. That's not all our hackers have done. They made a slight change to some of the chief exec's travel itinerary. They sent him to the opposite gate without much security, so I pick up a bench, head over to the east gate and take him out with it. That was it yet again for Max, back to Trang. He says the Jade Hill boys want to talk peace with us. I have to meet up with their leader who claims she has a job for us. If I do it, they'll work with us. I meet up with her in the alleys and she tells me that it's just the killers who are with the corporation. They just want to protect their neighbourhood. They'll help free them if I wipe out the killers. She gives me an Uzi to take down their hideout at the record shop with. I take the ones outside down, but that just attracts more. The all grab and pummel method still works, but I go with using a hatchet instead. With them gone, I am told that Jade Hill left me some petrol bombs outside Beer Hut. I take out the shop and it's mission completed. They aren't done yet though, as they've retaliated hard against Jade Hill. I need to go over there and see if I can help. I find 5 of them with low health and they all want to join me in fighting back. I run back out into the main street and grab pummel my way through them until I get a shotgun and take them out in seconds. It's bye to Trang again and Max returns to the starting point. An informant has given us a vague warning about the corporation starting something very big. He doesn't know what it is, but one of Hunter's doctors is heading for the corporation's main building. I still have the shotgun from the last mission, so I intercept him and kill him for another data disk which I give to an agent at the safe house for analysis. What we learn from it is that they've boosted the power of the nanotech chip and are transmitting a signal so strong it can affect the entire city from one transmitter. I have to meet a hacker at Rocket Burger and protect him until he detects it. He runs around the city being targeted by psychotic civilians. Although the most damage he suffers is from me blowing up the petrol lorry near him and then catching him with the spread from my shotgun. This means that as soon as he pinpoints where the transmission is coming from, he's beaten to death in seconds. I'm much safer with him next time and we manage to make it back to base. The transmitter has a huge security force defending it and I'm going to act as bait to lead them into a trap. I run up to their HQ to grab their attention and then lead them all the way to the laundry where backup is waiting to gun them down. Now to deal with that transmitter. The building is too big for a single bomb. Instead we're going to set off a chain reaction in that car park behind it. The bomb will be planted by Gibson. Aww. I've got to take out security at said car park first before Gibson gets there. Watch him have evolved into an Olympic sprinter in his time off just so he can charge right in before me and get shot. I wrote that last sentence not remembering every detail of the game months later, but guess what actually happened? Just passing by him while he was waiting, he took that as a signal to run ahead. Next time I get there without going near Gibson and activating him and grab pummel through security, he plants the bomb and I escort him back to the safe house. Only one death altogether this time for Gibson. He's leveled up a bit. Blue Icon Man returns for the final mission in Chinatown. The corporation has triggered the transmission and sent citizens insane. I have to weaken the support at the front of the corporation HQ while Gibson triggers that bomb. He gives me an assortment of weapons and I take the flamethrower. I head towards the building, torching security and the poor mind-controlled civilians trying to attack me. Once I run low, I go back and get the grenade launcher. It helps me in an unexpected way. I knock my own house to the ground with one of the grenades. While I'm laid out, security with shotguns keep firing and clear out a lot of the rioters surrounding me. I get bored of waiting for Gibson and blow up the building myself, liberating Chinatown from the corporation. Half the city has been taken from their control now. We get another news report showing the corporation businesses going up in flames and it's back to the menu. Completing Chinatown in Revolution unlocks Freak. Ricky Fang was in high school when his parents were arrested as political dissidents. He never saw them again and he went into hiding before being discovered by Freedom. He's one of Freedom's hackers, having taught himself while his dad was running a PC repair shop. Of all the characters in this game, Ricky was the one I completely forgot about before coming back to write this. Of course, freeing Chinatown also unlocked the east side stage for this mode. Right away as I start, there's a man with the yellow icon to my right. Freedom has been contacted by a Mr. Adams who has been accused of crimes against the state. The corporation have already tried to kill him once, and if we keep him safe, he'll give us some useful information. He's at the theatre, which is just up the street and around the corner. When I get to him, I don't notice the marker change direction and keep waiting for him to talk to me. This gets him shot to death in seconds. A little embarrassing. I failed to save him the second time too. For some reason I wait for the police to turn up and then try to fight them off. Third time I try to fight them off on the way, but I take too long to reach Mr. Adams and he's killed again. Fourth attempt is a repeat of the second, as is the fifth. If only there was a really good strategy for escort missions, when I used a lot in just the previous level that I was using less than 20 minutes earlier. On my sixth try I finally remember it. I just belt it across town and ignored the gunshots, and what do you know, Mr. Adams is delivered alive to our safe house. Right outside this safe house is a red icon man. His name is Hector and he's Freedom's main man on the east side. After praising Freak for Spanky's efforts in Chinatown, he lets me know a corporation agent has been escorted from the south gate near East Side's auto shack. I just managed to kill him inches before he can escape and get the documents Hector wanted. I barely managed to get them back to him with the smallest possible amount of health. The document says there's a corporation meeting happening at the theatre. I need to meet Cole, another agent, and help him get inside to see what's going on. I meet Cole, walk across the road, and he's shot dead on the spot. Since he's closer, I check in on Yellow Icon Man. Turns out after we saved Mr. Adams, they went after his wife. Her assassins are hanging out at Scooter's bar, and since only they know where Mrs. Adams is, I have to let them lead me to her. They discover her outside Beer Hut, where I fail to save her because I accidentally joined the assassins in shooting her. Next time I just hold a rod instead of a pistol, but rather than the game register that they've reached her, the assassins go for me instead. Even though I was standing right next to her, killing an assassin in self-defense failed the mission. Third time I just hang a little further back so they notice her, but even that tiny distance between us doesn't leave enough time to stop her getting punched to death. I just manage it next time and let her rejoin her husband in the safe house. Now let's try getting Cole in that theatre again. He died even quicker that time. Not even bringing an M16 for the next try kept him alive. But then, the light bulb goes off above my head. What if I kill the guards before I get Cole? Well, more came out afterwards, but I managed to shoot them all first this time and get him in. That's that mission done. Back to Yellow Icon Man. There's a special assassination squad working in the bail bonds office. We need to know who's on their hit list. A sergeant is at TJ Sports. I run right in there, kill the sergeant despite the injuries I'm sustaining, and take his list. I then just have to drop it off at the safe house and report back. The assassination squad's leader is at the bus depot, that's right across the road. This is painful to watch. First his buddies shoot him to the ground, but they stun me long enough for him to get up and run. Then after chasing him to the other side of the map, I finally kill him only to die the very next second before I can end the mission. I kill him again next time and actually make it back. Yellow Icon Man decides that maybe just blowing up the Death Squad's base is a good way to deal with them. I get a grenade from an agent near the safe house, run down the street and blow up the bail bonds office. That's all it takes. And right next to that is this map's Blue Icon Man. He lets me know that the Muerte 13 gang have a list of our safe houses and are planning to sell it to the corporation. So I run right over to that petrol station, grab and pummel the first guy I can, who luckily enough turned out to be the one with the list, and hand it over. For my next mission, the guy who tipped us off about Muerte 13 has been found out and they want him dead. I run over to the video shop to meet him, turn around, get knocked on my ass, watch him quickly lose health and pull out my most desperate grab pummel spam so far. Sadly, the very last one killed him, but an upside is that I got a cleaver right after. I'm next to Hector, so I start his next mission. Cole's reported that all the delegates are in theatre. First I have to go with Cole and kill the guards in front of the theatre. Instead I pick up the bomb and throw it at the theatre, breaking it. Oops. Rather than go back to Hector, there's a green icon man closer. There's a corporation official named Pierce whose daughter has a death warrant on her for supporting freedom. If I save the both of them, we'll get some inside information. He's being escorted to the north gate, but I cut off his escort and in return they just shoot him dead. I'm really bad at this rescue thing. Back to Hector's mission. I don't even bother with the guards, I just drop the bomb by the front door and run for Scooter's bar. Then a car explodes off screen and Cole dies. Come on Cole, don't be another Gibson. Next I try gunning the guards down from a distance. Even that's a pain though, since Cole is just standing in the middle of them for some reason. I drop the bomb and it breaks for no reason. Next time, it doesn't break. I make it to Scooter's bar, the theatre explodes, killing the delegates, and I report back to Hector. That's all from him for now, so I move on to the Green Icon Man and save Pierce with a hatchet, dropping him off at the safe house. Now for his daughter, as Pierce refuses to help until she's safe. She's on the Grudas, surrounded by 3 gunmen. Grab and pummel keeps her safe and I can reunite her with her dad. Pierce gives Freedom's intelligence department loads of info, but now he wants one more favour. He wants to kill the executive who ordered the hit on his daughter. I pick him up from the safe house and take him to Magruder's. I kill the guards while he runs off screen and kills the exec, but while taking him to his daughter, he's killed on the way. Second try, I get him to his daughter at this gate and they enter this building so Freedom can arrange their escape. Then one lone arsehole comes running in and shoots his daughter dead at the very last possible second. Third time, his daughter is in view, but he isn't and he dies somewhere. Fourth time, I use the grab and pummel as they're entering the building, allowing them to escape from the corporation's reach. Right, back to Blue Icon Man and saving that informant. Grab and pummel still works wonders, as do hatches. Although I do feel bad accidentally decapitating that civilian while swinging at the gang member. It ends up being a pretty long fight, but eventually the informant is safe. Now it's revenge time against Muerte 13. Some of the gang is coming through the north gate with a map of gang hideouts. With the hatchet I very easily take out the one with the map. It shows that their main hideout is El Coco's. I get some grenades outside the coffee shop and blow El Coco's to hell. When I get back we have another gang to deal with. It's the Skins, who are causing trouble for locals. They're going after the record shop, so I have to protect its owner. I meet up with the owner and get to grab pummeling. It doesn't work this time though, and I turn the camera to see that he was being beaten to death the whole time. This guy can't take a hit. I get sidetracked fighting one guy for a second and he's already dead. Things go a little better the third time, but a bullet flies in from my screen and ends him. That's when I discover that Blue Icon Man has been leaving me AK-47s I just didn't notice this entire time. The Skins go down easy this time, but the mission doesn't progress. I look ahead and find that one gang member's eye must have broken or something because he's running in circles, making it easy for me to take him down and finish the mission. There's now a Purple Icon Man by the record shop, so let's talk to him. He knows that the corporation are planning something against us, but he doesn't know exactly what. There's a large security force outside Beer Hut though, and a Department of Security official inside. I stand outside Beer Hut, wait for him to emerge, and cleave him to death for his documents. I hand them over to one of our agents and return to Purple Icon Man. We learn that the corporation is definitely planning an attack on us, and I'm sent over to Candy Girl. The agent there reveals that the corporation has taken civilians hostage and will execute them unless Freedom gives them the location of their East Side base. Instead, I heroically take on the firing squad at the bus depot and heroically get all civilians killed. Next time, I actually notice the Uzis left for me at Candy Girl, but I still fail to save anyone. Same thing next time. Guess what actually works? That's right, Grab and Pummel keeps most of the gunmen in place while civilians run and free themselves. The corporation aren't giving up that easily though, and they've deployed some new shock troops who are killing everyone in their way trying to find us. I see them running by a while later and I use a combination of guns and Grab and Pummel to sort them out. It lasts a while and in the end I take too many little hits that add up and kill me. Get them next time though. This whole fire on everyone strategy turns out to not be the best way to keep friends, and the corporation has lost a lot of support. Back to Yellow Icon Man, who informs me that blowing up the Chinatown bank has made the other banks vulnerable due to the increased traffic. I have to escort our hacker, Edison, to the ATM so he can upload a virus he made that will disable the bank's alarm systems. Despite both of us taking a few bullets at the ATM, he uploads the virus and I drop him off at the safe house. Well, I stand at the safe house for a bit wondering where he went before I'm informed he died somewhere. Second try I get killed while he's uploading the virus. Third time he stands there inches from the safe house and lets his head get blasted off his shoulders. Then I die at the ATM again. I'm sensing a pattern. Fifth time he actually stays right behind me so I can deliver him to safety. Hector's back so I talk to him again. The military has arrived at the east side along with the corporation executive giving them orders. They're on standby over at Prism, the auto dealership. I take out everyone in seconds with a shotgun and claim the exec's mission briefing. After handing it over to Hector, we find the military was sent to check out the city before the corporation's chief operations officer arrives. Cole's gonna plant a bomb on his route and I need to make sure he stays not dead, but seriously? We're taking Cole and giving him Gibson's job? If I'm stuck on this for an hour, Hector, I'll never forgive you. I clear out the remaining guards from under the rail bridge so Cole can get in there and start with the bomb. And he's gunned down seconds later. This isn't a good sign, Hector. Second time Cole plants the bomb, but while I'm trying to take out the men shooting at him, he stands right behind and lets himself get picked off. Well, you know what? Screw him for now. What's Yellow Icon Man wanting? Some of our agents managed to break into the bank to steal some files, but despite the security system being shut off, they've still wound up surrounded. He gives me an AK-47 and I quickly take out everyone in front of the bank, but then backup arrives and I spend quite a while grabbing pummeling. Eventually I'm told everyone got out with the information and I just run for the safe house and trust the agents are smarter than Cole. They are, and they're also ridiculously fast. They could have just outrun security's bullets. Yellow Icon Man leaves, so I go to Blue Icon Man. More skins have set up a blockade under the rail bridge to try to keep control of their part of town. I head over there to beat them with a sign, upgrade to a bat, and then finally upgrade to a hatchet. This one was very easy, but when I get back I'm told that the skins are now meeting with the corporation to discuss supplying weapons. Maybe before trying to work with the corporation, they should have looked into what happened to the mall rats and the killers. I run over to Candy Girl and take out both groups. Now let's see if I can keep Cole's useless arse alive this time. Nope. Back to Blue Icon Man. Skins are massing at the pizza place, clearly planning to attack us. He gives me a bat and I run over there and take them out. More keep coming out of the building, but they're easily dealt with. This is where I find that an NPC's decapitated head can be picked up and used to beat others with. Once that plan is foiled, it's call time. The stupid fucker still looks at me surrounded after planting the bomb and queues up behind me waiting for death. Next time he just doesn't get shot as much and I finally get him back safe. And after all that, the corporation predicted we might plant that bomb and send the bomb squad in to deal with it. I dash to the other side of town, take out the bomb squad and claim one of their smart cards to hand over to Hector. The target is going to arrive soon, so we're ready to set off that bomb. I just have to be nearby to take out any survivors. Thing is, the operations officer is right across the road when I start the mission, so instead I run up to him and kill him before he even gets near the bomb, so all that messing about with Cole wasn't even needed. I do hope someone shifted the bomb after this though. The corporation is now converting a building for a secret project. The construction workers have entered through the south gate. I run up and shoot the first one I see to get the building plans. I ignore the order to kill the other construction worker and skip right to trying to give Hector the plans. This gives him the time to escape. If it looks like I've been making a lot of stupid mistakes, it'll be because I've been playing nearly 8.5 hours straight with few breaks. Basically everything from the beginning of this video to completing Revolution mode was done that same day back in August I think. Next time I do it right, not much else to say, it's a very simple mission. Hector gets the plans and tells me they've discovered that Dr. Hunter is visiting Eastside's West Coast. A bomb's been planted with the medical crates, I just have to distract the guards so they don't discover it. Killing counts as distracting, right? Once they're down, I just have to run away before the bomb explodes. Dr. Hunter somehow survives a blast, so I give chase, enter a painfully long grapple struggle, and kill him with a kick to the head, finally removing one of our biggest threats. Can't get too happy just yet because Yellow Icon Man lets me know that our spy at the auto dealership has been grassed on. I simply go up to the dealership, make sure she starts following me, and rush to the safe house. For once I escort someone without letting them take a single bit of damage. I chat to Hector again. Dr. Hunt had a successor, Dr. Wilson. He was a defect, but after Hunter's death he's under heavy guard. They're escorting him to their HQ through the west gate. I just have to pretend to kidnap him. Seems easy, but one of his guards has a flamethrower. I focus on too many others before finally dealing with that one, so of course I don't survive much longer. Next time I grab that guy first and pinch his flamethrower. With Wilson saved, I deposit him to the safe house. Hector's gone again, so it's over to Yellow Icon Man. We've had even more Corporation defectors giving us information. There's a big stash of cash held at the tax office. I have to lead a team waiting for me outside Candy Girl to get it. I pick up the guys, cross under the rail bridge and take out the guards. They go inside, come out with the cash, and we have a little stroll back to Candy Girl. I think ignoring the men shooting us will be fine, but the agent with the cash gets killed, so I have to go pick it up myself and hand it over to Yellow Icon Man. We have some more defectors to pretend to kidnap next. They're leaving Max's bistro with an armed escort. I just have to deal with the escort, without getting one of the defectors killed. Second time, grab and pummel. With 2 more defectors in there, that safe house must be a nightmare to live in. From one of them we learn that there's an extensive collection of records on our actions at the Revenue Office. We already have some guys headed down there, but I'm sent 2 with a rocket launcher. Can't steal that information, so I blow the building up. Nice quick 20-second mission there. Yellow Icon Man leaves and I accidentally fire a rocket onto the wall and just from my face. Back to Blue Icon Man. The Skins are obsessively watching over a paying phone outside the shop Big J. We want to know what they're up to, so we're sending Edison to plant a bug on said phone. I first have to take out the Skins around it. I pick up Edison and he's killed seconds later by the police that have been following me since blowing up the Revenue Office. Next time he gets killed by the Skins. Third time I try to kill the Skins first but get killed by my rocket launcher. Fourth time I kill them. Now I can get Edison to that phone alive. After he's planted the bug, I get grabbed by more Skins, which keeps Edison standing in place until he lets them kill him again. I get him back safe next time. This is what I meant about how much quicker it is to keep trying the same mission than in the Grand Theft Auto. They took 5 tries, but all that was only 4 minutes. Next I go back to Purple Icon Man. An agent, Price, is waiting for me outside the furniture shop. She's trying to get back to the safe house into the jazz club, but she feels she's being followed. I meet up with her and as soon as that dialogue box is closed, a hail of bullets flies in from our screen and destroys her before I can even react. Of course, I get the blame. Next time I start killing the Corporation forces before I go and talk to her. It works, although she does still take quite a bit of damage. I drop off at the jazz club and start the next mission. Another agent is trying to get here with a report, but he also thinks he's being watched. I head over to the bank where he's waiting, but he drops dead as soon as he appears on screen. I still pick up his report though and take it back. After handing over the report and talking to him again, we find that someone talked. The Corporation is going to raid the jazz club. I need to fend them off while everyone evacuates. He gives me an AK-47 for this, but it doesn't last long, so it's back to grab and pummel. After a while, Marcus and Price exit the safe house. I now have to escort them to Candy Girl. It goes smoothly, but that mission isn't done yet. I have to clear out the forces that are still surrounding the jazz club. Thankfully I'm not alone in this. While I'm grab pummeling away, some freedom agents show up to help out, but at that point I just have 2 little health left and I get killed. The next time I manage to conserve some more health and take out most of the guys with guns first so they can't keep chipping away at my health from a distance. That and taking their guns helps me wipe them all out. That's all for Purple Icon Man, so it's back to Blue Icon Man. The Corporation want to meet with the Skins at the bank. I'm going to take out the Skins before they arrive at the bank and Ko is going to pose as one of them to find out what the meeting is about. The group is only across the road. I grab the guy with the shotgun to make him drop it and then quickly wipe them all out with it. Next is meeting Cole at the auto dealership. I just have to keep an eye on him on his way to the bank. Once he gets there he runs away, having been found out. It's an easy time escorting him back to the safe house for once, is what I was thinking considering he was right behind me most of the time. But when I got there he was nowhere to be seen and died a little later. It's my fault for expecting an easy time babysitting Cole. On my second go he actually makes it back without taking any damage. That's impressive for Cole. Now the Skins and Corporation having another go at a meeting, but this time at the petrol station. We're just going to blow the place up and take them all out at once. I just have to escort an explosives expert there. The expert is just right across the road from the petrol station and after I talk to him, he runs right in. Of course, you've seen how my attempts at keeping people alive go, so you can probably guess he doesn't survive first time. Second time I fall back once again on the grab and pummel to kill time while he's in there. A little later he comes out and I take him back to the safe house. When I report back I learn that the Skins leaders are already at the station. I need to wait for the Corporation to arrive before destroying the building. There's 3 Molotovs outside the building, boom, done. After all this, the gang's now out of control, but there's a way to deal with that. The Skins are gathered at the dealership, I just have to get Muerte 13 over there too. Except I don't do that, I just walk up there and take them all out single-handedly. Hector's the only one left giving missions now, so I go over to him. He's finally worked out what the blueprints I stole were for. The Corporation built a genetics lab in their east side headquarters that they've been using to strengthen their shock troops. I have to attack the guards at one of the gates so Hector can plan an attack on the lab. I start by gunning down the ones right outside the gate, then turn my attention to those a little further out. At the end of the mission I'm told they were drawn away. Nah, I killed them all. Now he wants me to get rid of the guards at the HQ gate so we can get some bomb experts in there. Simple. Once the experts go in, I just have to return to Hector. He says that the demolitions team planted most of the bombs but were spotted and driven out. There's only one survivor that I need to save. I take down all the guards outside HQ and the survivor comes out. There was a huge group of guards further up the road and he goes from full health to dead in 2 seconds. Whenever I think I've cleared that group of guards ahead of time, there's always another. No interesting failures this time, so I'll just say I get back to the safe house on my 5th try. Now the corporation have found out the base from a captured Freedom operative and are going to try raiding us. Compared to other building protecting missions, this one went smoothly at first. Took out the first lot with an AK-47, picked up one of their M16s for the next, and then good old grab and pummel. But I must have missed one because towards the end the game said one got in. I die on my 3rd try and my 5th. It was painful dying on my 6th try. I lasted so long and took out so many, but they just kept coming. But I just managed it on the 7th. Hector manages to destroy all the evidence the corporation could use against us, but we still lost the safe house. Yellow Icon Man returns for Eastside's final mission. There's nothing left to lose in this part of the city, so it's time for a last assault on the corporation HQ. Everyone left is going to be charging on the HQ and I'm on my way too. I meet up at Candy Girl and we run over. There's a rocket launcher outside the HQ that I used to destroy the building, winning us the east side. Freedom now owns 3/4 of the city. Now it's time for Operation Liberty, the final assault on the corporation. Completing Eastside in Revolution mode unlocks the final character. Edward Raymonds, or the Bull, was in the armed forces before the corporation takeover. He was in the army's football team and eventually got recruited to play professionally, but he got framed for illegal drug use after refusing to go along with the corporation's match fixing. After 5 years in prison, leaving him with no life and no future, he trains for new Freedom recruits. Now for the final Revolution level, Corporation Central. Right in front of me where I start is a guy named Shepard. For the first mission, I have to escort 2 strike teams to their safe houses in the south side of the area. This part is very simple. I just walk strike team 1 down the road to the toy shop, which will be one of the safe houses. After hanging around and taking care of the nearby troops first, I pick up strike team 2 and lead to the next safe house inside the Rocket Burger. When I report back to Shepard, he moves up to the toy shop. For my next mission, I have to escort a representative to the museum so we can deliver an ultimatum to the corporation. Either democratic elections are held immediately, or we fuck them up. Shepard knows they won't agree to it, but we're at least giving them the chance. The museum is just past the Rocket Burger. I run up waving a stick in the air and beat all the guards down. The guy runs in and comes out seconds later, having already given the offer, then it's just returning him to the safe house. Next up, I have to torch 3 assault vehicles parked near the south sector of the city. Part of the ultimatum included that all assault vehicles be kept away from civilian territory and on corporation property. Around the corner there's an agent giving me petrol bombs. The first is parked near Rocket Burger, the second near I started, and the last is right next to the toy shop. I mess up though and miss a couple throws, using up all the bombs. I get it done right next time. Also, look how close I am to dying before finishing the mission and recovering health. The corporation has now started doing house-to-house sweeps looking for Freedom supporters. If any civilian is even suspected of harbouring an agent, they'll be executed on the spot. I run down to the house across from Rocket Burger and cave in some skulls with a dustbin. When they're dealt with, I pick up one of their shotguns and gun down the second lot near the starting point. I return to Shepard, who now wants to get the operatives the troops are searching for to safety. Both of them are seconds away from the toy shop. When I get them both, I take them down to Rocket Burger, where one gets killed right outside the door. Get them there next time. I should have stayed there too, because someone tipped off the corporation to the Rocket Burger safe house and they sent a squad over. He gives me a gun and there are agents waiting outside to help me. The first lot get taken out easy, but I turn around for a second and turn back to see all but 2 of my backup get gunned down. When the last lot are taken down, I'm warned there's another coming with a heavy weapon. A man appears with a minigun and takes out the last of my backup. I just have to grab him once to get that minigun off him and use it on him, saving the safe house. That's it for Shepard for now. There's a green icon man across from Rocket Burger. He wants me to follow a corporate exec to find out where an emergency meeting of the corporation's top executives will be held. I also can't let him know he's being followed, and I know for a fact that the best way to blend in is to be 7 feet tall in an orange prison uniform holding a giant minigun in the air with one arm. I mean, be honest, would you want to be the person to question that man? The exec makes a few stops along the way, but eventually stays at the Park Hotel. I then take out the guards outside and report back. Now I have to clear the area outside the hotel so an operative can get in there and destroy it. The guards are easily dealt with and our agent goes inside. Also, the Bull has this amazing Mario 64 throw where he just swings one guy around in a circle and takes out everyone nearby. I like it a lot. 2 executives try to escape. I take out the first in the subway and the second very nearly escapes to the museum, but I pull him out of the door at the last second. This sadly means I'm not there to see the hotel explode. I drop the agent back off at Rocket Burger to finish the mission. Apparently there's a food riot going on and the corporation has sent their death squads to end it. I just walk down the street and beat them up. Things moving along quicker. I'm doing a much better job in this level. It's the one I beat the quickest at 1 hour and 3/4. There's also 3 more troops near the toy shop who I flamethrower. Remember the killers? After all these ass kickings I give them back in Chinatown, they are now willing to work with us. They run a club above Candy Girl and one of their regulars is Captain Burns, who is responsible for the recent death squads. I head right on over and gun him down. Sorry Jim, but hey, you've got 15 years to avert this future. Green icon managed replaced with Shepard. There's 2 more death squads in the area. In the indoor area there's a huge backup squad for me. As soon as I'm here with them, a death squad comes in from behind and opens fire. My backup manages to deal with the first group while I'm busy writhing on the ground on fire. The second group is just standing in the corner in plain sight. These are supposed to be strategic locations. Once again, my team does most of the work while I claim the credit. But if death squads are still around after dealing with the man responsible for them, did I just kill Jim Sterling for nothing? Back at the toy shop for more missions. We got some info from the killer's leader. The corporation is supplying weapons and training to the skins. The killers will help us if we take care of them. I quickly take out the skins in the subway to get a corporation ID card from one of them and hand it over. The skins didn't like that and are currently beating the killer's leader to death in the subway, so I go down there, save him and hand him over to his gang in the mini-mall. It's now time to help the killers take back their hideout in the subway from the skins since their leader is recovering. I pick them up from the mini-mall and go into the subway for the 3rd mission in a row. The Uzi they give me deals with most of them right away, but the killers are fragile, so while I'm trying to deal with survivors, they all get killed. They do a better job of not dying next time and they get their hideout back, but right after I report back, the skins are already trying to take it back with some new weapons. My job is to simply deliver some weapons from Protec to the killers. I report back and I'm being sent straight back to help them out for my next mission. He gives me a gun, but when the skins arrive, I fail because just about all the killers die while I'm stuck going up this escalator. Next time I wipe out a good chunk of them just shooting at the escalator they're coming down where they can't fight back. While I deal with stragglers in the subway itself, the other killers took out the rest of the skins elsewhere. We're not done yet with them though, we're going to attack while they're recovering, so I meet up with the killers in the subway yet again. They say that the skins are rallying in the park, so we all head off together. We wipe out the group outside in no time and I take one of their shotguns to deal with the rest of them leaving their base. And that is the skins dealt with for good. Back across from Rocket Burger for my next mission. I need to kidnap the manager of the bank from the coffee shop. While he's leaving, I kill his 2 guards to scare him into coming with me. I then drop him off at the Blossom safe house. In the second between reporting back to finish the mission and starting the next one, the manager talked. He gave up the access code to some corporation accounts. There's some agents waiting for me in the hallway to escort them to the bank. You know how this goes by now, one of them dies while I'm dealing with the guards. I get them in next time. Then comes the good old keeping the enemy from walking through a door routine. At least a couple of the agents will actually come out and help me fend them off. Once they're all out, I just have to take them back to Blossoms. While my agents were in there, they transferred away a massive amount of the corporation's funds. Now I just need to blow up the bank with its executives still inside. Shepard gives me a rocket launcher, I run right over there and blow the bank, the executives and myself sky high. I survive though. I get back to be told the corporation doctor wants to defect and he's waiting to meet me at the park. He's panicking because the corporation sent a squad out to silence him. Good thing I still have that rocket launcher. Good thing blowing one of my own safe houses has no consequence. Once his squad is wiped out, he talks. He left because he couldn't live with what the corporation were doing. They also threatened to kill his wife if he left the company. If I save her, he'll help freedom. His wife doesn't know he's defected yet, but the corporation has her under security. While she's shopping, I have to kill her escort and bring her to her husband. The escort is easily dealt with, I take her to her husband and then take them both to the safe house. We learn from the doctor that the corporation is going to send out more mad bombers with their nanotech chips. It's been a while since we've had to deal with them. I just have to find the control box so we can disable the signal triggering the bombers. I then proceed to get blown up by the first 2 mad bombers I find. The signal box is on the ground in the subway. I'm sure this was here way earlier. I even beat someone over the head with it. I tried taking it back, but tear gas was let off and I dropped the box and destroy it. Of the 3 exits from this area, 2 are filled with tear gas. The one that isn't leads to the long way back. I hand it over to the doctor at Rocketburg and have to protect him while he disables it. I get an AK for fending off my bombers with, but I run out of ammo on the last one and the doctor is blown up. Then on my 3rd try I just end up in range of the bomber's explosion and die. I manage my ammo better the 4th time and the doctor manages to disable the signal, preventing more bombers. My next mission is back at the toy shop. I have to escort a team to the corporation armory for some heavy weapons. I pick up the team inside the mini-mall and get going. The armory is in this section I've rarely visited so far, containing a lot of corporation buildings. I take out the guards in front and send the team inside. I even hold up the backup long enough for them to get out and get back to the safe house. Our next targets are the guards in front of the museum. I have to lure them to the mini-mall where there's an ambush for them. I shoulder barge for a load of them to get their attention and my guys take over and wipe them out. As you've probably guessed, next is destroying the museum. In the mini-mall I pick up a team with a rocket launcher but fail a mission when there's more guards who block all my rockets with their bodies. Next time I get that shot in though. Now there's some missions outside Blossoms. There is now an elite military strike force coming to take back the city. One of their important leaders is arriving with the first wave. They're only a few meters away from Blossoms and I knock him down while dealing with his thousands of guards. In the confusion he manages to slip away though and I just miss him as he gets safely into Corporation HQ. Next time I get killed by all those guards. I get him 3rd time though, finishing with a good shoulder barge. It's a big blow to them but they're not stopping yet. There's now 2 military squads at the south gate. I just need to take out their sergeants. He even gives a grenade launcher to help. The first one I get with my first shot near the museum, the second is by the starting point, and there's a third next to the toy shop. The strike force is falling back now, but they've blocked off the main entrances to the plaza to protect the main corporation businesses. He gives me an AK-47 and sends me to deal with both blockades. I just gun the first lot down and the second abandons their post and comes for me. I take them out even quicker. This leads to a load of corporation executives trying to escape through the subway. A subway worker will give us information for a bribe, I just have to hand over the money. When I meet him, he's a little concerned about 3 guys in dark suits following him. Those 3 guys show up right as the text box is closing. It's only 3, so they go down quick. But there's another agent running away. I just managed to pull him out of the doorway to Corporation HQ and deal with him. I return to the worker who has arranged it so the next time I come in here there'll only be 1 guy left monitoring the power switch. That's my next mission. Back into the subway, remove the guys watching the power switch, leave. No more trains, so no one escapes. Of course, the military isn't a big fan of this action, so they're trying to take it back. He gives me some backup and a grenade launcher to fight them off with. The grenade doesn't do much, but my grab and swing helps out a lot. Then I just burn through the M16s dropped by the ones I killed until they're all gone. My backup didn't last long, they could have just not come along. Back to Rocket Burger for the next missions. The corporation are now so desperate that they're arresting suspected freedom sympathisers to use as human shields around their headquarters. They're currently being transferred from prison to the HQ, so I have to kill the ones escorting them. I try being clever and taking the long way around so I can get in front and make it easier. It doesn't make things easier, it just means I take so long that they're all being put inside the building and I fail. Turns out they were taking that route themselves and I just needed to take the obvious route all along. Who knew? I shoot my way through the guards and lead everyone to the Blossom safe house. Just to make sure this doesn't happen again, my next target is the political prison centre. An agent in the subway station gives me a rocket launcher which I use to blow up both the prison and the courthouse. That doesn't mean the corporation is ready to give in yet, they've sent out troops to recapture the prisoners I saved. This means protecting the door to Blossoms. Good thing I still have some rockets. Fun fact, blowing up Blossoms with the prisoners inside doesn't fail the mission. I also get dangerously close to failing when a guy goes in, but turns out he still isn't bullet immune. I still fail the first time because I accidentally did a grab and pummel instead of a grab and swing and one soldier just strolls on into the shop. Second attempt, I die. Third time I accidentally take out a poor bystander failing to keep another one out. It takes until the 4th try for me to make it to the 3rd and final wave, but all it takes is swiping one of their guns and they don't last long. To the toy shop for my next mission. Marcus, the freedom leader if you remember or even still care, has been captured and the corporation plans to execute him live on TV. But we may have some unexpected help. A top corporation VIP wants to meet me in the park. I meet him but he's been followed. Once that annoyance is out of the way, the VIP introduces himself as John Hanson. He was one of the corporation founders back when they were just a corporation. Once it became a regime and started killing people, he started secretly funding freedom. He told Marcus if he was ever in danger, he would bail him out, but first I have to get into the toy shop safe house. As you'd expect, the corporation are after Hanson and have launched an attack on the toy shop. I get loads of backup and charge towards the tear gas, firing into it with a minigun. My backup ran into the gas, dropped their guns and all died. My blind firing did take out a chunk of the enemy force, but in the end the grab and swing proves most useful. But all that was just the first wave. I turn the corner and get lit on fire. I manage to take the flamethrower and deal with the next lot, but soon after I get killed by minigun fire to the dick. I'm smarter with my minigun ammo the next time and utterly destroy them. With the base safe, it's time to rescue Marcus. Hanson has given us the route he'll be taking to the firing squad, from the corporation HQ to the centre of the plaza. I have to join with Freedom Special Ops guys at Rocket Burger and then set off to free Marcus. I get there but Marcus is killed while I'm trying to beat up the firing squad. Next time I bring an AK and take out the firing squad in seconds, then take Marcus back to the base. Missions are back at Rocket Burger. Now the corporation is deploying shitloads of troops in the park. I'm given a huge team of Freedom members to lead to that park. I take a gun from the enemy and with my team we take out the strike force in no time. Corporation's still trying though. There's no weapons drop in the park. I have to capture those weapons before the troops can get to them. When I get to the park there's a selection of weapons, I just have to keep the troops away from them. I can use the weapons myself too. Thing is, there's a lot of enemies and I get killed the first time, but on my second try I keep the weapons safe. Just 2 missions left now. There's a trap set along the south streets for the corporation forces, I just have to lead them into the blast area where Cole will set off the blasts. Okay, but does it have to be Cole? Then I just have to wipe out any survivors. But here's an interesting idea, I just pinched a rocket launcher from that last mission. What if I just blew them all up myself? It counts, and more importantly, Cole gets no credit. I return to the toy shop to start the final mission. With the corporation's forces reduced to a mere fraction of what it once was, it's time to attack their HQ and fully take back the city from them. There's a rocket launcher with some agents in the subway. To add to the feeling of finality, there's a loud alarm blaring throughout the entirety of the mission. I have to go to the main plaza and destroy every building there. I use my last couple of rockets from the last mission first, then get the launcher from the subway. I take out each building before finally blowing up the corporation HQ in the middle. This city is free, the corporation has fled, but this is just one city, and Freedom is prepared to run them out of the country as branches are now starting up even outside this city. After celebrations, Marcus is wanting us to come with him and help free the West Coast. I assume that's what the sequel is about. We then get one more news report where the newsreader is cut off and a Freedom agent announces the revolution, but it also gets off by the loading screen mid-sentence. After that, I'm dropped back off of the main menu. For beating Revolution mode, we unlock more to do in Chaos mode. There's unlimited time, which you can guess what that is. You may notice those markers next to the top ones. Doing Chaos and both fixed time modes on a single level after beating Revolution unlocks Last Clone Standing and Fixed Time Clone. Last Clone Standing is a time trial on how quickly I can kill a certain number of clones. I don't care for it much, it just becomes a pain hunting down those last few and it just goes on and on. When you get to the last few, you get a sensor that sort of helps you find the last ones. The last 3 modes don't get those markers, by the way. Fixed Time Clone is simply seeing how many clones you can kill at the time limit, and that's really it. I go through the levels again, unlocking and playing a bit of these clone modes, then all 4 levels have those 3 markers. And that was State of Emergency, a lot better than I thought it was going to be. While it is true that things were getting a bit monotonous towards the end, I admit that it wasn't helped by me going through all of Revolution mode in one day. I think this game would be better received today, being on a handheld system like the Switch. Chaos mode is quick and fun and feels like the perfect thing to just take with you and play a few games on before getting on with something else. It's like I said earlier, the game moves so quick that you don't get a chance to get frustrated with it that often. I'd honestly recommend trying it out for about half an hour. It's not like it's hard or expensive to get a hold of, it's probably the most common non-EA Sports PS2 game to find second hand. Most shops would pay to take all those unbought copies off their hands.